It is almost afternoon everywhere, apart from Central Time. Hello, RJ.
Hello, Stephen. How you doing?
I'm a bit more relaxed now.
Yes.
Now that we've done the official 5 days live show with Annie, and Annie had a good time and answered a lot of questions, that's job done for me.
Job done.
And, you know, I mean, we asked him questions, he answered them, he gave things away and told us what was going to happen. So that was brilliant. So yeah, 2 days to go. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. is yourself and David and Brigetti. And the title, I couldn't think of a title. I couldn't think of a title at all. But I know it's sort of looking outside Facebook is the theme. In other words, right? So New Horizons refers to things that we know about, which we can't mention, and things that we do know something about, like multicasting, simulcasting, whichever you want to call it. And hello to anybody who's watching us. This is RJ and Stephen. We're having a chat, and the chat will be centered around bots. So welcome to the show. And do you know what happened last time? When I put welcome to the show on at the beginning of the show, he stayed there.
Oh yeah, remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was saying welcome to the show all the way through the show. And whenever I put a comment on the screen, it wasn't showing. Mm-hmm. But it was showing for me, but it wasn't showing to everybody. So it's a good job I actually read the comments out. Yeah. And yourself and Annie spotted them as well. So teamwork at work there. Right. Okay. Now we've got two topics, and I'm going to be a gentleman and let you go first.
Oh,
that's the way it should be. Unless you want me to go first.
Well, I would really love to talk about your topic today. Stephen wrote a little bot for the 5 days live experience, and I am super excited to talk about that with you, to talk about where that idea came from. What can that do? What have your results been? I'm just super excited to talk to you about it. So Stephen, what prompted you to think of what is the AskBot? Let's start there.
Right. The AskBot, basically, when we're live, we can see the questions going through, and we try to take them one at a time and answer them live on air. But occasionally, in fact, more than occasionally, we miss a question, and we can go back and answer it afterwards. But it's always better if the question is taken care of automatically and we don't forget it. That makes life a lot easier. So what the AskBot does is, if you type in ask, it will whisk you away to Messenger, and you then type in up to 3 questions. And when you type in those 3 questions are sent to ManyChat. RJ and I can see them in ManyChat, because this is the wonder of ManyChat. The answers are recorded, and then we can take action and reply to you. Well, not instantly, but we can give you an informed reply pretty darn quick. And the thing is that nothing escapes us then. Okay. And right. the other thing about the AskBot is, because it's going to Messenger, it is one-to-one. Yeah. So it's a private conversation. So right. If there are questions that you don't want to ask, people who are new to live broadcasting sometimes get afraid of asking silly questions. Now, in my mind, there's no such thing as a silly question. There are silly answers. But if you're afraid of asking a question live on air, then you can just type ask, go and type your question in, come back, carry on watching, and your question will be taken care of. Nobody knows you've asked it apart from us, and we won't tell anybody. So let's catch up with the comments. And nobody's asked a question yet, but Lottie's saying, woohoo, 5 days live, free training, Stephen Healey, RJ Redden, David Burrows, Brigetti Limbanda, taking New Horizons, Facebook Live and beyond will be great, and some Facebook's live. Well, it is tomorrow. Fantastic show tomorrow. Thank you, Lottie. And no, it's not called the AskBot.
I know. We got a kid. I caught that and I was like, oh, shoot. Does it sound like we're saying AskBot?
Lottie, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the hyphen in there, and then we'll always know that, yes, that's good. I like that. And Stephen Healey tips: you use the AskBot to get private answers to your confidential question or questions you were afraid to ask. And thank you for that, Lottie.
Lottie, I would think that you might be able to use that too, because I know a lot of people ask you questions, and I know that sometimes people are, just what Stephen was talking about. They don't want to ask a question in public, but if they got a chance to ask you privately, then that might be something that that you could certainly benefit from. My brain is exploding with ideas with this AskBot, because I can think of a ton of situations in which people want to ask questions without being overheard by other people, or without other people going, it's all in what you kind of project on other people sometimes, I know, but yeah, people, there are just all kinds of questions they won't ask on a live stream, but they do still have the questions. So this is a great way to get to people, and also a great market research thing, because now the question, all the questions people want to know, right? Not, because you may be taking it from your live stream right now. What are the kind of common questions people ask? Is this a resource I can put? For me, I'm always thinking, is this a resource that I can put into my bot or one of my clients' bots? Answers to common questions, that kind of thing. Well, if you're taking them all from questions people ask in public, that's cool, and you're a step ahead. But if you're also expressly inviting people to ask a question, any question they want to, and then you are providing it's a one-on-one, it's a private, you're providing them an answer privately, then you can take all of those questions too and add it to the cadre of, these are the questions people are answering or asking most often. Is there a way I can develop a resource like a PDF or a freebie or whatever, and start issuing that to people on the regular before they even ask the question? Because that's the customer service we'd like to provide, right? And also have resources. For me, have resources loaded up into BLIFbot bot, so that when people type a keyword of one of the questions that they're asking, boom, it sends them a little how-to video, sends them the information that they need to know. So here's where I've been going with bots. Ready, Stephen? All right. I couldn't hear you just now, but I think you said you're ready. All right. I can hear him again now. Here's where I've been going with bots, and that is, you can use a bot to provide an insanely excellent customer experience. So this is like customer service, right? And this is kind of one of those things that if you're an entrepreneur like myself, if you have a small company, you're on client acquisition. You're on that get new eyeballs, serve people mode all of the time. And sometimes things, sometimes I've been having quite a week since I got back, and I've been traveling a little bit lately. I don't understand how you're able to accomplish all the things that you can accomplish in a week, Lottie Hearn. But for me, I'm just starting on this journey, and sometimes things get left in the dust or whatever. But if you can provide a customer service experience like nothing that they've ever had before, you can stand out to people further, serve, share, and shine. I do love your hashtags, my darling. You could provide an experience for people where it was like, with that sheet of frequently asked questions or whatever, you can frame that and give that as a freebie as they enter your bot. And you can put that in such a way that people are like, wow, I didn't even know I had that question. But look, they're already answering my questions. I haven't even asked them yet. You're giving people valuable information right here, right now. And it's all because you created a little tiny AskBot.
Genius.
It's your genius, Stephen Healey.
No, you said commonly asked questions, and you could have a little commonly asked questions document that people, whoever types in ask gets that opportunity to download that automatically. Brilliant. I love that we're building on an idea. And RJ, you just said, and Lottie is documenting this with timestamps, which is absolutely brilliant. Stand out, provide a sheet of Q&A, give us a gift at bot entry, answer questions, and Lottie's saying total genius both. This is a brains trust session. If you want to join us, Lottie, then oh dear. It's Lottie, how do I say this? It's been a long day. And there is no AskBot running on this show. Oh God. Golly gosh.
Is this live? Are we on the bot for Live Video Hub, Stephen? Or BLIve in 5?
We're on the bot for BLIve in 5.
Okay, so Lottie, if you want to experience AskBot, I assume that you can. The ask is set up as a keyword, is it, Stephen?
It is, yeah. Yeah.
So you can, if you want to, in Messenger, find your BLIve in 5 and type ask in there, and you'll be able to experience that part of the bot. It's not set up in the comment thread, but it is permanently set up in the bot to run anytime anybody types that word.
Indeed.
So,
yeah. So go to Messenger on BLIve in 5, type in ask, and the bot will fire. Yeah. And you get 3 questions, and it's very polite because it's English or British, and it says, could I have your first question, please? Could I have your second question, please? And this is your final question. It's quite insistent on that because otherwise you could ask questions forever and a day.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. Exactly so. Find BLIve in 5, get your bot connection when you type ask here. Now, like a lot of the things, well, especially what the bots that RJ creates, they are available. And the AskBot, when it's sort of, it's being beta tested at the moment.
Mm-hmm. And so what kind of, now that we know what it is and how it works and what it does, what made you create this, Stephen? What made you think to yourself, I've got to have an extra portal available for people. Let's expressly give them the opportunity to ask questions.
When we were doing our shows, we I because I'm producing them, actually missed the occasional question, and I went back and I found a question. I thought, oh, not answered that. That's bad. So that was the trigger, answering a question, and from there, I thought, people could ask a question in a messenger bot. People could ask more than one question in a messenger bot. So that was the driving force for it. That was the moment of inspiration for AskBot.
Beautiful.
As we talk about it, there are more and more uses for this. We were talking before we actually came live on air for the second time today. We were talking about something like Jeff's show, the Jeff Adams show. Now, Jeff Adams show is famous for the fact that Jeff is quite probably the best male host on the planet, but his shows attract a lot of questions. Now, of course, Jeff is not only hosting the show, he's producing it, he's got a guest, so he can't be watching the comment. Now, staff from BLIve do watch the comments, but occasionally you're going to miss questions that people ask. So on a high volume show, it's bad enough on our shows, but on a high volume show, you're going to miss questions. So if you could sort of say to people, if you have a question and you definitely want it answered, just type ask, you'll go off to Messenger, you can ask your question there, and we can get to it after the show in the next 24, 48 hours. So that's another use case that we've discussed. And I love the idea of a PDF as well. This is growing into quite something.
Yeah, well, I mean, and two, we've talked about a couple of times, having a series of videos available for people. We were actually talking this morning about that little thing where we ask people to put the link, because if you're cross posting and you're broadcasting several places, you want to put that link right in the top of the description, and you want to tell everybody at the top of the show, hey, be sure you're watching on my page, or else, so that you can get your question answered live. Mm-hmm. So, but a lot of people still do not do that. Some people don't even put their name or their title of their show, in the description, much less a link to where they're at. The show cards are another thing, right? That was something that we had. We took a lot of time to explain to people when we were building Live Video Hub Bot and the discoverability engine, right? That if you got a photo, people are gonna stop on that show a lot more and then link into it. So, and then watch the show. So, thinking about producing these as little 3-minute videos that people type show card into the bot, stuff comes up, or people, and then as an extension, if people say as one of their questions, how do I make a show card? The system reads that show card phrase and goes, boom, boom, they need this video.
Yeah.
You can be Johnny on the spot or Jane on the spot with answers to questions that people are having. Okay, here's where I'm going with this.
I know. Wait. Well, I'm going to type it in while you're saying it.
Okay. That providing that customer service experience that you're only giving people information at the point where they're needing it. You're only giving them the information that they're asking for. And that makes that information, that little lesson that you're trying to teach people. Ours is all about live streaming and bots, right? But you might have something completely different. That makes the information that you're giving them so much more actionable. Okay, so for instance, when like the show card instance, when people say, how do I make a show card? If you can pop up a 3-minute video that you've pre-recorded that shows them step by step how to make a show card, then, points out the elements, says, here's the software, give them what they need. You start to provide an awesome experience for people without even needing to be there pushing the button. So that's most of our information delivery these days is we are giving too much information at the wrong time. And then we're kind of like, God, why don't people act on this a little bit more? Like, I know that, sometimes you and I get frustrated because it's like, gosh, we've explained this, put a link at the top thing so many times. And some people still aren't even putting their name there. It's because we're not delivering that information in the space where they need it. And we're not giving it into a container they're receiving. So let me back up and give you an example. This is something I talked about at the conference I was at over the weekend, where I talked about messenger bots. When 10 years ago, 15 years ago, before MapQuest was around, occasionally you'd get lost and you'd need to ask for directions. Now, I'm not really great at directions, by the way, but, okay, good. Well, so So you stop and ask for directions. Someone will say, oh, I know where that place is. You go down to this street, you go east for about 1.5 miles. Then you go west for about 3 miles, and there's a big curve there, and then you go around the lake, and then there's a gas station. You've got to turn before the gas station. And then a whole bunch of directions and all of that kind of stuff. Now, why was that a bad experience? Can you tell me, Stephen Healey? And it's okay if you don't know the answer.
Well, if it was me, then I've got the gist of what was said, but I stopped listening at some point.
I do. When I have to say to myself, okay, I could probably memorize the first 2 turns, but I don't have a lot of context. If I'm in a place where I don't know, I don't have a lot of context to put that direction in. And I don't know how to process the information. So basically what it's called is the technical term for give people a huge download of directions right at the beginning and then go, okay, bye-bye, good luck, and then walk away. That's called front loading.
Okay.
We do that a lot. We do that a lot unconsciously on the internet. We're giving people a whole lot of information. We're overloading them, and that they don't know what to do with that information, so that they may remember a couple of details, but they're not going to remember the whole thing. So that was 10, 15 years ago. Then the magic of turn-by-turn directions. Why are turn-by-turn directions so magical, Stephen Healey?
Because you don't, sorry, I'll come back. You don't have to remember anything. You can just follow the instructions.
There's no cognitive load placed on you of trying to remember something and trying to process something at the same time. You are getting, literally, because of GPS and satellites in the sky and a whole lot of other technology I'm not going to go into, you are getting in just the information you need at just the right time, so that makes that turn literally actionable. So messenger bots have now given us this capability through things like the AskBot, through things like people asking us questions in our live streams. We can now develop that just in time that is the same thing as our turn-by-turn directions, which make it stupidly easy for us to get to the right place at the right time. Sometimes I'm still running late, but that's because it's me. Anyway, in a messenger bot, we have got that just-in-time technology now where people can type in the AskBot, how do I make a show card? And we can make a 3-minute video that goes through the steps, maybe a little PDF to back it up, and boom, that question is answered. And that person can take a little bit of action. They can take action on what we're telling them. You know what I mean? I mean, isn't that exciting to you?
Yes, bite-sized pieces. Brilliant. We're going somewhere with this. Now, Craig is saying, so as people ask questions, you create a keyword for that question to be answered automatically in the future.
Truth. That is happening now in ManyChat. You can set it to directly recognize one word, or you can take that word and allow it to be in a phrase. So, for example, I had in my bot, when I first created it, you could type stop or unsubscribe, and it would unsubscribe you from the bot. But I had super polite, awesome people who would type, please stop, or please unsubscribe me. So you can, and it wasn't unsubscribing them because it wasn't just the word unsubscribe. So that's something that you can look back into ManyChat in the keyword section, and you can choose, does this phrase contain this word? Does this phrase contain this word? Or is this just the only word that I want recognized? Because you don't want that to fire off too often either, because people will get confused. So choose your weapons carefully, Craig Cameron Jr., and you will be fine.
Right. I'm going to tell you a story. It's not a story that I wrote. It's a story that Lottie wrote. Are you ready for this? Sit comfortably. In Ireland, we're going back to the turn-by-turn directions. In Ireland, directions can be fun, as in go right past the field with the donkey, right where Seamus is outside the pub, and right at the garage. You're back at the start, having followed the directions, and they say, sure, of course, the donkey died last year and Seamus is on holidays, but the garage was still there, surely. Right, okay, so that's Lottie's
point
for the day. Okay, brilliant. And we're going to keep that on the screens. We'll take a screenshot of that. Yeah. Okay. Now, you mentioned a moment ago, and I've got a title for. I've got a perfect title for this because you gave it to me. So, could you take it away, please, with public speakers now hear this?
Oh, all right. Lottie, I'm glad you're on here because I know that you're probably getting on a plane like in an hour to go speak at a conference, because that's how many conferences you speak at. But I just wanted to say, because this is the subject of my podcast today too. I went to a conference this past weekend, and for the second time, I said, everybody, I want you to experience this for yourselves. I was talking about messenger bots, obviously. I said, everybody, I want you to experience this for yourselves. Please whip out your phone and go to this link. And it was bampowbot.com. If anybody wants to take a look at it, it's a link that I bought the URL. I bought the .com on my domain provider. I use Google Domains for those who are interested. I pointed it toward a landing page on my website where I had my bot embedded, and they went right to that landing page. They hit the messenger button and they started interacting with my bot. Now, if you're a public speaker, you do not have to. Short story is everybody interacted with it. People took the mini course, people asked me questions, people set up appointments with me, and people hired me because I did that from the stage. That is massive. The tough thing about public speaking is you work so hard to be a speaker. You work so hard to be invited to those places. And then it seems like your big interaction is one way mostly. You can make this a two-way experience with a bot. You can do this, my friends. You're flying. Oh, I see Lottie flying tomorrow to Nottingham to MC on Sunday. Try bampowbot.com. Use a Google domain. That's what I use. Point to a website landing page on your website, hit messenger button, and interact live via the bot. I did this, Lottie, and for the second time in a row, because I did it the first time and I was like, well, maybe that was a fluke. No. I did it the second time in a row, and the reaction floored me. The reaction floored me because now I've got a bunch of people that I'm having a conversation with. That the way the public speaking is designed, we get in front of people. Maybe we have a Q&A session. Afterwards, we point everybody maybe to our table or, somewhere they can hang out with us. But boy, if they're inside the bot interacting with it, you have so many opportunities at interaction way long after that conference is done. Please, public speakers of all kinds, if you want to become a public speaker, please get a chatbot. Do this now because it makes so much of a difference. And two, okay, let me back up because there's a couple of objections to this I want to answer as well. Why sending people to landing page instead of direct to messenger? Great question, Craig. Craig, the reason that I do this is because if I send people directly into messenger, they get confused. Because you have to hit a button called Get Started that's way on the bottom that is sometimes visible on some screens and sometimes not on others. So if I'm standing there on the stage and I say, hey, go to this URL, go to this.com, everybody. And then a spinning dragon will welcome you into my family. And then they go to that landing page and they see a picture of Spinning Dragon, who is my cute little ninja virtual communications assistant. If they see a picture of Spinning Dragon, then they go, oh, they automatically in their brains go, oh, I'm in the right place. And then they click the button. If you send them directly into Messenger, they get confused and go, why am I Messenger all of a sudden? And then they don't understand why nothing starts to run because they have to hit Get Started. And you're not there. I mean, if you're standing from the stage, you can say it, but you never know if they're going to catch it or not. So that's why. There you go. There it is. So there's BAMPOWBot. This is a bot entrance that I created specifically for the conference that I was at, which was all about joint ventures. So in that intro to the bot, I have questions about, hey, there's a picture of me standing at my table. There's also, what did you want to learn out of this conference today? And who are you looking to joint venture with? So those were topics specifically addressed during the convention that I was at. And so, and then people get offered 3-day mini course. They get, you can ask me a question. You can also schedule time with me. There's a whole bunch like waiting for them. It's a little all day carnival waiting for them to interact with it. The results from that were tremendous. You guys, I can't even, there's so many times in marketing where we feel like we're shouting into a black hole and not getting anything back. And you even begin to resent, that fact that, God, I mean, wish there was something here, wish something was going on. I'm putting so much effort into this. This what I did up on this page, This is something that can be done, and you will get so much back from it. You just don't even know. So public speakers, please, please, please have a bot ready. Have if you don't have a chat bot now, please see me. I have services and I'm building classes all at the same time right now. Stephen and I are building one together for Udemy. I'm building some other things for another thing. I mean, we'll get you set up. You need to do this because you can finally have contact with people, one-on-one contact with people that you have worked your butt off to get in front of. If that sounds good to you, we need to talk. So anyway, I've gone on so much about that, but people ask 2 questions, like they're like, well, RJ, I don't do bots for a living. Why would I need to have a chatbot entrance? The reason that you want to have one is you don't have to have them interact with a bot. I do that because I create bots for a living. What you can do though is have them download that freebie PDF. Have them download a copy of your presentation. Have them download anything you want, any freebie you want to offer people. You can deliver it right in the bot. Videos, audio, PDFs, text, images. These are the 5 things you can put in a bot. You can have people download a freebie while you're standing on the stage and then get into a bot run about asking people about what did they want out of this conference? What's the biggest thing that they learned? How can you help them? You can ask any of those questions. And have people answer them. Thanks for illustrating that scheduled call and summit, RJ. That's all good stuff. People use those buttons quite liberally throughout the event. So people say, do I have, I don't do bots. Why would this be useful? You do. Whoever you are, have a freebie download out there. You do. You can do this. This is not terrible. The other objection that I get is I don't want people to be distracted during my speech. So that's another valid question, and I want to answer that one right now too, is that you're assuming that if people are sitting in an audience that they're all paying attention to you right now. Hey, some of them are on their phones anyway. Also, if you happen to have a PowerPoint slide with 87 bullet points on them, that's distracting anyway. It's not taking away from the people who are paying attention and don't want to pull out their phones right now, because they can pull out their phones in 10 minutes when you're done. But people who really want to see this PDF download of your frequently asked questions or whatever freebie you have, this is beautiful. They deserve to get their hands on it immediately so that they can experience you not just as a talking head from the stage, but somebody who's offering them valuable information in their pocket right now. So don't think of it as distracting. Think of it as offering another opportunity for people to connect with you besides the one that's already in front of them. So anyway, my rant over, but I cannot get over how much I got out of that experience just from having a short bot entrance and a little, a couple of questions asking people what they wanted to get out of the thing. It was insane.
That's real power. Yeah. And as you say, when most people go to attend a conference, then they take copious notes and then they read them about 3 years later and say, oh, I wish I'd asked that. Yeah, this is instantaneous, genius. And Lottie's asking, did you build that in ManyChat, RJ, or was it a several stage process?
I did. I did, baby. All in ManyChat, who have just come out with a crop of new features, by the way. So that's going to be interesting, and I'm going to be covering those in my show on Tuesday, Thursday, and probably some here too. Yeah, ManyChat, pretty robust platform, $10 a month for up to 500 subscribers. If I had an affiliate link, I'd give it to you right now. Go get that bad boy, you guys, if you want to get into bots.
And Lottie is saying that a slide with 87 bullet points on would be a no, death by PowerPoint. So I just love the fact that we know that everybody in the audience has got the mobile phone switched on, even though they told to switch them off. Right. Get them, if they're off, you tell them to switch them on, and then they just, that's genius. and you get an interaction straight away, and you're getting, well, first of all, you're getting on the phones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second, they're getting to your website, and third, they might ask, they will possibly, well, I mean, the beauty of your bots is that they attract people in. I said this from the beginning, from the first time I used one of your messenger bots, is that you're actually drawn in. It's not push marketing, it's pull marketing, because they're so well designed. Kudos on that. And over to Lottie. And Lottie says she's got that last conversation. Now we just have to get it into help. Result. Brilliant. Right. Okay. Well, we are a bit more relaxed on this show than we were on the earlier show, because we've got to sort of help Annie and get the message across, which I think we achieved. And there's a lot of things that were in the agenda then that are still there now.
Of course they are. We've got agenda for days. We don't even have to worry about having topics for this show. We've got it going on.
Yeah, we do. I mean, it's all go. I mean, there's never a dull moment or a dull day, whether you're in live video or in messenger bots. And when you've got the two together, that's a very full day most days, isn't it?
Constant fireworks, people. Constant fireworks.
And moments of inspiration. I mean, the beauty of this is that you can have an idea and you can run with it.
Yeah.
And if it works, well, you can get a skeleton working within, say, an hour. You can test it. You can give it to friends to test, and if they like it, if their response is good, then you can invest more time in it. And what you're actually doing is you're actually building up a core of bots which are usable by everybody. They're general purpose bots. They're not industry specific.
Right.
I mean, thinking about it as we have been doing the show, everybody needs an AskBot.
Yeah.
And everybody should be doing, public speakers should actually getting their audience involved from the stage and get on their phones.
And here's the thing, Stephen, is you could, if you had somebody kind of helping you out a little bit in the audience, you could provide AskBot right there and get all your Q&A questions. Do you know how sometimes you're speaking and you're like, okay, this is Q&A time now, and like there's like a 2-minute, 3-minute gap between people, because people are afraid to come up to a microphone. They're afraid they don't look good. They're afraid that they're gonna, mess up the question. If they're big, there's a lot of things going on there. So you could be, and I might just try this on my next run, is say, okay, now everybody, now that you're in to BAM-PAL-BOT, give me one question that you want answered in this presentation. And if I have somebody helping me reading out the questions to the microphone, then I can answer all of the, there's a number of things that you could do to get audience participation in your talk. They'll never forget you.
And the beauty of this is that more people would type than talk.
Oh, yeah.
So if you've got to stand up to ask a question, then you think twice. If you just got to type it in, this is getting better and better. The three of us should really do this brainstorming more often, Lottie, because you're having an influence on us, positive influence.
Constantly.
Indeed. Right, so coming back to something that didn't get covered earlier. First of all, right, okay, now, Facebook yesterday announced the release of a poll, POLL, in case my accent gets in the way, Lottie. And the idea is that when you go live, or if you edit the show before you go live, you can ask a question. And you can ask a question and you can say how many answers are going to be. So it could just be as simple as yes, no. Okay, poll is yes, no, ask the question. So do you repurpose? Yes or no? Simple question. And then basically, during the live show, you should be able to see the poll. Now, there is a poll, believe it or not, on this show. And the question was, do you use messenger bots, yes or no? Because RJ and I want to know. But I'm darned if I can actually see it working.
This is the razor's edge of bleeding edge technology, and yeah, that's the risk we run, isn't it? Do you have the show up in another window?
Yeah, I did. I did. If you want to double check, but I okay.
Can't see it anywhere.
Okay.
That's hilarious. Maybe you're supposed to get the results after.
Right. True.
You continue to pack, Lottie. We're good. You don't have to stop for us, but we just enjoy brainstorming with you over the airwaves while you're packing a bag.
And it's good to have Lottie translating for me on this show because pull, not pull, in Stephen's accent, means something totally different in the UK. Yes, to pull is something that, well, it's to do with dating, let's just say.
All right.
Right.
Not a topic we usually have on this show. We will back away slowly.
Oh dear. Now, we did mention earlier that when you put a show on the Live Video Hub, we've been trying to get you to actually put the link in. And we just want to say now that when you put your show on the Live Video Hub, a tweet goes out. And I want to explain this a bit more because I rushed through it last time. There's an application, if you've not heard of it, it's called IFTTT, and it precedes messenger bots, but it is an automated system, and it stands for if this, then that. And the thing is, if something happens here, do something else there. So if there's a new post on the Live Video Hub on Facebook, create a tweet on Twitter. And that relationship is one-to-one, new post, new tweet, new post, new tweet. So for every post that goes onto Facebook, get a tweet on Twitter. And if you put the link at the top, something magical happens. If I send out a tweet automatically from Facebook to Twitter, and it's just text, do you know what happens? I'll tell you. People read the tweet and do nothing.
Oh,
because they can't. But if the tweet goes out with a link in it, we're all curious. We're all curious devils. So if you put a link in and the link goes in the tweet, people will click it. And it's just human nature. We're curious, want to know what's going on. And so hello to Brigetti, and welcome. And nice. Good that you're here. We're looking forward to yourself and RJ and David tomorrow in New Horizons. And I've got a photograph somewhere. Just bring that up on the screen. It's New Horizons tomorrow with RJ and Brigetti and David, and anything can happen there because it's about New Horizons and who knows what's going to happen. So if you are putting a show on the hub, and thank you if you do, please put a link back to the original show at the top so that when it goes out on Twitter, people can click that link and you'll get extra viewers direct to your page. So they're not going back to the hub, they're going direct to your page. Okay, now, all right, and Lottie's explaining. Okay, it's the Vidpresso Accu, going back a bit to polling, it's the Vidpresso Accu hire where they can poll people via video. Right, it is Vidpresso, good people. Vidpresso are owned by Microsoft now, but they're still people.
I thought they were owned by Facebook now.
Sorry, it's 50-50. I got it wrong. Thank you for correcting me. Right, they're owned by Facebook now, but they're still alive and well and on Facebook in their own right. And they are the masters of this technology, of the polling technology. And it's used by major TV stations. And that was the prime interest that Facebook had in Vidpresso. Facebook are not the best at innovation, but they're darn good at copying and
incorporating.
They're incorporating. So the poll or pull, as I call it, isn't operational yet. So It's an extra tab when you go and edit your live video before you go live, and fill it in, because you never know, it might just go live for the first time ever on your show, right? And I'm talking about IFT. Thank you, Lottie. And we say hello to Corinda, and how are we? Well, we've been broadcasting now for nearly 2 hours, which is a record for us. Yeah. Continuous, because we did the show earlier and we said we'd just do half an hour today, but we're in this show, but we're nearly at the 50-minute mark. We just enjoy this so much, and we enjoy chatting, and we enjoy your company. Yeah, and Lottie's concurring with what you said, RJ. I do need to take a break. I've got 4 shows to set up for tomorrow.
Boo!
Boom. Yeah, okay. And to answer the question, Lottie vid, Presso 50/50, and it's on beta test, and Stephen test out on the cell. Okay, yeah, I'm off with it. And yeah, you got to fill the poll in before you go live. And one day, it might be.
It's going to be exciting when it happens. I did see that yesterday, and then I was getting my show up a little bit late, so I went off on that bunny trail, and then I was like, okay, I need to not do this today because I need to get the show out right now. So yeah, the polls are pretty good. I used to use those way back when we were all trying to find a new home, and I was on Crowdcast. I would use the poll. I'd use the poll then. But yeah, what a cool thing to offer. Just, I love the way they're continuing to develop this experience and make it more engaging.
Totally. And I think people are now waking up to another relatively new Facebook feature, and that's Facebook Premiere.
Oh yeah.
I'm mentioning this for a particular reason. Facebook Premiere is the ability to upload the video, or even use a cross-posted video, and play it as if it were live on your page. But the thing is that it's not live, it's a replay, and you can sit in there and you can answer questions as the people are watching the replay. But not only that, you can put a messenger bot on there, can't you?
Oh, of course you could. Yeah. You absolutely could. Interesting. So what way, let us brainstorm, in what way would you use that?
Right, supposing you for argument's sake, you had say you were doing a live video about messenger bots. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you wanted to interest people in joining your bot. Then you could actually say during the replay, to join my bot, just type bot or whatever you want. So that's the simplest thing. Second thing is the free PDF. You could link into that. It depends what sort of show you're doing. I mean, I'm doing a show. This is 2 shout outs. I'm doing 2 shows in November. One is a charity occasion, November 23rd, with Fons Chamberlain, and that's an international. It's a 12-hour show. Anybody watching today who wants to appear in the show, then please contact myself or Fons. It's a 12 hours, so it's a lot of time to fill, and we're all welcomed with open arms to go live on air. So that would be good. Well, anyway, I've lost my thread, RJ.
Okay, so the original question: what's a great way to use a messenger bot during a premiere, which is any sort of video, any sort of recorded video, put on Facebook as if it were a live video happening right then. So, I mean, you could use it the way that we always use it, which is you always use it to bring guests in. You probably actually couldn't do that because it's a pre-recorded video. Yep. So you could use it for AskBot.
Yeah.
I could use it the way I always use it, which is type live to get reminders for whenever I go live. But you could also use it for different things in the comment section. You could definitely use it for different things as well, such as what you mentioned, the freebie, which, a freebie given away to an audience. It could be as simple as a 1-page PDF just throw your logo on there and put some valuable information on there and or some links. You don't have to do anything magnificent to make that work. But you could say, you know, at any time during the broadcast, type in the word strawberry and, you know, my chatbot will hook you up with the PDF of, you know, this presentation. So that's another way that you can totally use messenger bots with Premiere. I hadn't even really thought of that. I haven't premiered any shows yet. Have you done this, Stephen?
They've been premiering shows on BLIVe, I think. I've seen several around. BLIVers are doing it. Yes, it is taking. This one is taking off because you can host the show, the live show, and then you can appear in the comments on the premiere, and people can chat to you about what you actually said in the live show. I'm not sure whether it's on mobile or not, but it's certainly on desktop.
Okay.
Well, there you have it. Have we anything left on our agenda? Because we've covered a lot of things in the last nearly 2 hours.
We really have. I think we really have, yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing that always occurs to me at the end of these shows is, you know, the plumber is the last one to fix their pipes. Today's show has put me in so many different thought directions of, let's get this resource, let's get a pile of resources happening in bots so that so that it can be in their fingertips. Right place, right time, right answer. You know, if you're able to do that in a way that keeps it actionable for people, that's not overloading or giving them rocket science to do as homework, then gosh, the more action that you can get people to take within the bot, the more results they see. The more results they see, the less, you know, when it comes time to hire someone, the less you're going to, the less sales pitches. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to, like, I have way gone past the point where I've had to say, do you want to hear my prices? I haven't said that in a year and a half. Yep. Because people will say, I need to work with you. What are the costs? Yeah. And then I'll say the prices. I mean, so it's, I've gone to zero sales pitches and I've been there for a long time because of what's happening in the bot. But what if you add these resources and that process becomes even easier? So I think I'm going to write a book. You ready for this, Stephen Healey?
Yeah. What's it called?
The Reluctant Marketer.
Brilliant. I like it.
I'm a person who's worked on marketing technology for 20 years, and I hate most traditional marketing. I hate it. I feel like a fraud. I feel like I'm putting on somebody else's personality. I feel like there's a whole bunch of things that, and we can talk about this another time, but bots, when I ran into bots, boom, made it all so different for me. You know, it was like, look, I can be myself. I don't have to be fake about anything. I don't have to be, you know, bait and switchy about anything. I can just deliver it as it is, and people will either like me or they won't. And it has all worked so far. And so, yeah, that's the title. That's the book title, everybody.
Brilliant. The ultimate in attraction marketing.
Yeah.
Subtitle. Right. And we've got another question to answer, and that's, where do all the PDFs get hosted? Just out of interest. And the rider to that, Lottie's saying her own website, and she's not alone, crashes too often. Kills me that no one can get to my free giveaways too often.
Darling, we need to put them all in your bot. They're all hosted right inside ManyChat. There's no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you don't have to store anything on your website. You can upload a file right into ManyChat, and you don't have to host it anywhere else. So let's put those in. We need to get together, Lottie Hearn. I got your note earlier. I will answer it. I didn't have time earlier, but we need to get together so that you can get those free PDFs out to people. You've worked so hard on this stuff. Let's deliver it in the right place at the right time.
Totally. It's magical when we get together. Things happen, new ideas come from ourselves and from everybody watching. RJ, for the second time today, would you like to close the show?
Absolutely. Well, so we've talked about we've talked about some really great topics today. The two main ones are using that, Stephen created an AskBot for the 5 days live experience that we're having. He created it because there have been unanswered questions sometimes in live streams. Yes, it's pretty easy to ask a question in a live stream, but there are people who don't necessarily want to reveal that they don't know the answer and are a little shy to ask in a public forum. AskBot makes it so that no question is left unanswered, so that people have an opportunity for a one-to-one private conversation. So he did this. This has given all of us incredible amounts of ideas, so that we can now make it so that we can do a lot. We can make all of those frequently asked questions into a document and hand it to people on the way into the door on the chat bot. We can do so many things. We can answer the questions, but then also repurpose that a second time into awesome, fantastic customer service. We can also, we learned a little bit about speaking from the stage, how to use a bot when speaking. If you're a public speaker, if you want to be a public speaker, there's a way to do this from the stage that engages people into what you're talking about, and you can have conversations with them, lots of them, long after the conference is over, instead of relying on a stack of business card that may or may not even have a sketchy note written across them about what you guys talked about. There are better ways to serve people. There are better ways to get people's new eyeballs onto all of the things that you're doing. We can do it with a bot. And so that's my wrap up. That's my wrap.
That's a great, brilliant. We'll see you all again. RJ is here tomorrow. Just a final reminder before we go, that tomorrow is New Horizons. Anything can happen, probably will. That's at 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. in the UK on Thursday. It's tomorrow, but it's still today here. So we'd like to say bye for now. Catch you later. Bye. And thank you.